Next presenter, Executive Chairman of Miramar Resources, put your hands together for Allan Kelly. Allan.
Miramar Resources, we're a WA-focused exploration company, and our sole aim is to create value for our shareholders by making a significant discovery. So I'm sure you've all seen the value curve of the company in exploration, where they sort of trickle along the bottom until they make discovery and then take a huge ramp up. And then even if you take that discovery into production, you have a bit of a dip in the development phase, and if you're lucky, you then start to climb up again. But I think everyone's pretty aware that that's where you make your money, is on making discovery and going from nothing to something very quickly. And I'm one of the lucky ones that's actually done that before, a few years ago with a company called Dorazios. The thing is, if you take that strategy about finding things rather than buying them, one of the things you need to do is put yourself in the right location. So you need to be either where there is endowment, mineral endowment, which means you've got to pay for it, or you put yourself where there should be mineral endowment. And that means recognising the processes and the geology or the signatures that show that there should be a deposit there, but maybe it hasn't been found yet because the gold price wasn't the right price at the time, or people had the project. So when we listed back in 2020, we spent a bit of time putting together a couple of really interesting projects. They were all very early stage, but believe it or not, one of the projects we picked up was on the highway between the Kalgoorlie Super Pit and Paddington. So you can literally drive out 15 kilometres from Kalgoorlie, and then you're in the middle of one of our main projects at Kidgee. And it was vacant land that had been picked up with one of my old Doro geos and sold to us, and it was because there was a layer of transported material where all the previous drilling had been too shallow to drill through that material. So that's just an example of recognising where there should be endowment and picking up a project. So I'm going to talk about three of our sort of key projects tonight. Pretty briefly, I know they have much time. But they're all based around that idea of picking up a project that should have endowment based on all the ingredients that you see at different scales. Where we're doing a bit of work at the moment is on our Bangamore project. It's up near Mount Augustus, if anyone's ever been up there. And it's in a belt of rocks called the Capricorn Origin, which sits between the Yilgarn and the Pilbara. And these Proterozoic mobile belts, as they're called, they host a lot of mineralisation throughout Australia and around the world. Things like Nova, Tropicana, the West Musgrave nickel copper deposits, Savannah, the work that Buxton are doing up in the West Kimberley, they're all Proterozoic mobile belts. And then you can go overseas, things like Vorsey Bay, even Olympic Dam in South Australia. So what we've got up there, the idea is we're looking for a nickel-copper PGE deposit or deposits, and the closest analogy to those deposits is the Norilsk deposits in Siberia, which are the single biggest mineral deposits in the world of any commodity. 2 billion tonnes of nickel and copper and PGEs, and we've got the same sort of geology. The age of the rocks are the same age as the West Musgraves, where Western Mining made the Nebo and Babel discovery, and it's never been explored for nickel copper PGEs. It was on the back of the Nova discovery in 2012, and then the Chalice discovery back in 2009 or 18-19, that we started looking at the Bangamore. We picked up some ground around these particular diorite sills and the same age as West Musgraves. There's lots of nickel copper PGE anomalism there at a regional scale. There were regional EM data sets that showed conductors. So then we picked out the sort of eyes of that area, pecks of ground, and we're now just getting to the point where we're starting to find ground EM targets that we will go and drill later this year, hopefully in the middle of this year. And hopefully, we're looking for something at a Nova scale opportunity. So, even with the decline in the nickel price and sentiment at the moment, I'm sure that if we found a Nova, that we'd be worth a lot more than $3.5 million. So that's our Bangamore project. It's a strategic land position. I think we've got about 2,200 square kilometres. We've got a dominant land position there. It's a bit like walking into the Fraser Range back in 2012 before Sirius made the discovery. So we're pretty excited about that. Sort of in the same neck of the woods, we've got a project called Whale Shark. A very nice place to work. It's in between the North West Coastal Highway and Onslow. So we base ourselves out of the town of Onslow. That was picked up on the basis of some similarities with iron oxide copper gold deposits in South Australia and Queensland. Originally Western Mining actually picked it up looking for another Ernest Henry. So there is copper, gold, and also pretty significant magnetite potential there. We drilled some diamond holes this year with some EOS funding, last year with some EOS funding, and got copper mineralisation in those holes. But we also recognise there's a pretty significant magnetite opportunity up there. We're completely surrounded by infrastructure. We've got Sino Steel to the north of us. MinRes are building a haul road right past the southern boundary of our property. The Onslow port is being completely transformed, and we've got a big gas pipeline as well. So if we could prove up 1 billion tonnes of magnetite, I'm sure we'd get someone to have a look at that for us. And then thirdly, as I was saying before, our Gidget project down near Kalgoorlie. This is the one for the real estate agents. I sort of say it's like the cheapest house in the best street. It sits in between the Kalgoorlie Super Pit and Paddington on the highway. We went out there basically straight after we listed, started drilling, started finding gold under that transported material that I was talking about before. Pretty much today we've drilled, I think, 5 new discoveries there, started on the highway. Obviously with the gold sentiment over the last 12 months or so, we decided we'd sort of park that a little bit and get onto some of our high risk, high reward projects like being of a Marshak. But having worked in gold exploration for the best part of 30 years, I think it's a fantastic project, and we will get out there, and I'm pretty sure we will make a discovery at Gidget in the next sort of year or so. So great projects, exploration driven, technically driven, there to make a discovery. And I think I can't remember who was talking about market cap, but a project's being valued at nothing. I think our market cap's about 3.5 million, which means that each of those projects is effectively worth nothing in the main. So there's the opportunity for making a discovery.
We had here for Allan Kelly, Miramar. We're on Miramar Resources, so very succinct